Well, I want to start in the beginning because when I heard your story before all of that about how you were at one time suffering from depression and anxiety and suicidal and living in your car, I want to inspire people how to go from being stuck to unstoppable. So why don't we start with your story because that really moved me so much.
Yeah, I like to never skip out the fact that I'm from Skipperville, Alabama, which is a small town in the southeast corner of Alabama. Population at the time when I was growing up, it was around 600 people. And so, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom worked several jobs to support my brother and I. And the one thing that I was very aware of at a young age was that we didn't have a lot of money and that my mom, although she worked so many jobs, she still found a way to serve and help people. And so that just kind of stuck with me. And seeing her just regardless of not having money, but take time to go sit with the elderly and always help people and take food to people and things like that, that just really resonated with me. So, I have her heart and, I got that giving mentality just from her. And, when you grow up in a small town like Skipperville as such, it's just, you don't get a chance to see much. So for me, the internet was pretty much my pathway to give me more visibility of the world. And I've always been like I was very involved in sports. Basketball was my therapy, not having a father in the household. And, that was my outlet. That was going to be my thing. And so, basketball carried me to college. And, I was blessed enough to get a college scholarship. And after college, I figured that corporate America, I wanted to go get the good job and work in corporate America, but found out shortly that that wasn't something that I was supposed to do. And so after, some brief stints in entrepreneurship, I just really was at a crossroads and asking myself, what is it that I really want to do with my life? And I think a lot of times we don't ask ourselves that question. We think we know, and we're so programmed and conditioned to actually just go with the flow instead of really what truly feels, right to you. And for me, I had been traveling the world a lot, being around a lot of different people, getting out of my comfort zone. And it was giving me more perspective of what the world was like. And so I really just honed in and asked myself the question, like, what do you really want to do? Like, what is your dream? What's the thing that you've always wanted to do? And so I knew that television, inspiring people, that was something that I wanted to do. And I was a huge fan of Arsenio Hall growing up. I was a huge fan of Oprah Winfrey. Just, I watched Phil Donahue. I watched Ricky Lake. I watched everybody religiously growing up. And I just loved the fact that how they were able to command an audience, how they inspired people, how they utilized their platform for the good. And so I had a relationship in Hollywood, and I reached out to this very well-known journalist and asked him, could I come shadow him? Could I come work from him and learn? Like, he didn't have to pay me a dime. But what he didn't know was, and to the thing that you were asking me, was months before, I was depressed. I was suicidal. My girlfriend had broke up with me. I was drinking a lot at the time. And, there was a moment that I was homeless. When I say homeless, like I wasn't like living on the streets, but I was living in my car for a matter of weeks. And, I was taking showers at LA Fitness, and I was just trying to figure out life. I was trying to figure out life because I knew I had this dream, and I just didn't necessarily know how I was going to access that dream. I didn't know how to go from unstuck to, being unstoppable. I didn't know what that was like at the time. So I found somebody that was really successful, and I reached out to him and I asked him, could I help him? And that pretty much changed my life. And so here we are today, 7 years later. I've written the book, Live Your Dreams Out Loud, which you have back there, which I love. And that became a bestseller when I first released it in 2014, the first edition. And so, 5 years have passed, and I wanted to update it and revise it. And I've done a lot. I'm living my dream now. I have my own TV show. We did season 1 of the Dreamer series, where I travel the country interviewing entrepreneurs, creatives, and I'm getting a chance to speak on stages all across the country. I'm a personal development coach, and I really have clients that I help them transform their lives to get them from being unstuck to being unstoppable, to truly live their dreams. So it's just amazing to look back and see all the stuff that I've gone through to get to this point. But I'm just truly glad that I have an opportunity to come, do interviews like this and share my story and best practices to help people. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.